coming to y'all.
Damo.
The boat is going to exit stations on the south side of the sea.
Whoa, look at that big old axis bug right there, just came out. Whoa. Holy shit, he just got swept out.
What's your name, sir? Grumpy? Oh, thank you. Mira cómo está. Tráela, está atorada. Está jackknife, está allá aquí arriba, ¿ok?
A powerful storm system unleashed extreme rainfall across Uvalde County, Texas, triggering widespread flash flooding, forcing emergency rescues and leaving several roads covered by rapidly rising water. Communities across western Texas face dangerous conditions as intense thunderstorms repeatedly moved through the same areas, overwhelming rivers, creeks, and drainage systems.
Road's gone.
The most severe impacts were reported across Uvalde County, particularly around the communities of Sabinal, Knippa, and Uvalde. After hours of persistent rainfall, water levels quickly increased across low-lying areas, causing flooding along roads, neighborhoods, and rural properties. Officials warned residents to remain cautious as conditions changed rapidly throughout the day.
There goes the yard.
Rainfall totals across the hardest-hit areas were significant, with many locations receiving approximately 8 to 12 inches, or about 200 to 305 millimeters of rain. Some isolated areas recorded even higher amounts as thunderstorms continued to develop over the same region. The combination of intense rainfall and already saturated ground created ideal conditions for dangerous flash flooding.
Dude, I hope that's not that real big one that he has in there.
Oh, he's wide. Oh my God.
Okay,
All right, watch your prop when I come out.
all right, you're good. Push you out that way.
You're clear. Take him wherever you want.
The small community of Sabinal became one of the main areas affected by the flooding. Heavy rain caused water to rise quickly around the town, with several streets and nearby roads becoming covered by floodwater. Residents shared videos showing flooded areas, while emergency crews moved throughout the community to monitor conditions and assist where needed.
Dude, I'm literally stuck at MG Building Products in Uvalde. And if I go back the other way...
This is Oaken River Street. Look at how it's flowing. Never in our lives have we seen something like this in, well, not...
In Knippa, located northeast of Sabinal, floodwaters also created major disruptions. Several roads became difficult or impossible to pass as water flowed across the landscape. Local officials closed hazardous areas and encouraged drivers to avoid flooded routes, while crews worked to evaluate road conditions.
Where I grew up in Plain Road, we had the Mississippi River come up.
Hey, whatever, bro.
They got
Whatever, bro, dog.
Turn around, don't drown.
Cars would come down this way, so we could just stand right here.
One of the most important transportation routes affected was U.S. Highway 90, a major highway connecting communities across the region. Sections of the highway, especially between Sabinal and Knippa, were temporarily closed after floodwater covered parts of the roadway. The closure disrupted travel through western Uvalde County as officials waited for water levels to decrease.
Oh, all of her toys and stuff.
Other roads, including parts of U.S. Highway 83 and numerous county roads, were also impacted. Several low-water crossings became dangerous as fast-moving water flowed across road surfaces. Transportation crews and emergency officials continued monitoring these locations to determine when they could safely reopen.
Wow.
The flooding also caused rapid rises along local waterways, including the Sabinal River and nearby creeks. As rainfall poured into the watershed, water levels increased quickly and spilled into surrounding areas. These rising waterways became a major concern because additional storms could potentially cause renewed flooding. Emergency crews responded to numerous calls throughout Uvalde County as vehicles became trapped and some residents needed assistance leaving flooded locations. Officials reported more than 20 dozen high-water rescues, with responders using specialized equipment to safely help people affected by rising water.
All of it underwater. For the quinceañeras to come and dance over here, there's supposed to be a concrete.
Several emergency facilities were prepared to support residents impacted by the flooding. Temporary shelters, including the Uvalde Event Center, were made available for people who needed a safe location while flood conditions continued. Community members and emergency personnel worked together to provide support during the event. The severity of the flooding was also captured in many videos shared online. Footage from the area showed roads transformed into flowing waterways, vehicles surrounded by floodwater, and rescue teams navigating through difficult conditions. Aerial views revealed the extent of water spreading across fields and low-lying areas around Uvalde County. Weather experts explained that the flooding was caused by a slow-moving storm pattern that repeatedly produced heavy thunderstorms over the same locations. This type of rainfall pattern can quickly overwhelm rivers and drainage systems, especially when the ground is already unable to absorb additional water.
Has lights on or just like regular?
It's a regular truck, baby.
The flooding in Uvalde County was part of a broader weather event, affecting parts of South Texas. Nearby Medina County also experienced major flooding, especially around Denise and Hondo, where heavy rainfall caused additional road closures and emergency responses. The same storm system also brought flooding concerns to Bandera County and the San Antonio area.
He was going to try to cross. So this is Benton Road.
In San Antonio, heavy rain created urban flooding problems, with several low-water crossings closed and traffic disruptions reported in some locations. Officials reminded residents across the region that even areas outside the main flood zone could experience dangerous conditions during periods of intense rainfall.
Parking lot at the park is underwater.
No spillway. Not really. Well, now there's a curve there. That is right in Medina River and Bandera. Wow.
Forecasters continued monitoring the situation as more thunderstorms remained possible in South Texas. With rivers and streams already running high, officials warned that additional rainfall could quickly create new flooding problems in vulnerable areas. Residents were urged to follow weather updates, avoid driving through flooded roads, and stay away from fast-moving water. Authorities emphasize that water-covered roads can be dangerous because depth and current strength are difficult to judge from inside a vehicle. Although some areas began seeing improvement as rainfall decreased, emergency crews remained active across Uvalde County. Teams continued inspecting roads, assisting communities, and monitoring water levels as the region recovered from one of the most significant flash flooding events of the summer in South Texas.